it would be so good if they didn't charge you for every single thing. The lady had a water bottle in one hand, handed me a cup, and I go, "Where can I have some water?" And she goes, "Yeah, that'll be $3." I'm like, you should have not even handed me the cup then. Hey, what's up? It's Michael Yo. Welcome to the Yo Show. Thank you so much. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. By the way, check out my tour dates. We'll scroll some of them right here. Alex is scrolling them right here. Vancouver, South Carolina. I'll be at Jimmy Kimmel's in Las Vegas. Tickets at michaelyo.com. If you're listening, you can listen on what is the right way to say that, Alex? They're all streaming platforms.
Just subscribe. Like wherever you are, there's a button.
Just subscribe. Hit the button.
But you know what? I want to talk about it as a bigger guy.
You know what? Okay, go ahead.
No.
I'm so glad you're bringing this up.
Listen, as a bigger guy, we need to address this today. We need to talk about it. Okay. Airplanes.
Okay. I'm glad you brought up, because I didn't want to say, how do people...
Terrible.
Okay. Okay. How big are you right now?
So right now I weigh about 350 pounds.
350.
That's just so everybody knows, I am pretty big. Yeah. Like that's really above average.
And yeah, it's above average. And how much have you lost though?
So we're currently about down 35.
35 pounds. Yeah. So you were 385 around.
I was 384.4. And okay. So I recently went to Hawaii, so I got to go, on airplanes again and stuff. But aside from that, I gained like 6 pounds from Hawaii. But so I had lost more. But we're working to get it back down.
When you walk on a plane and you sit in a seat next to someone that's already sitting, you must be able to feel like...
Oh, I feel terrible.
You feel terrible? Yeah. Or is it like a FU mentality?
No.
Like,
I feel terrible because here's the deal. When I travel, I try my best to sit with my wife. My wife is 94 pounds.
Really? 94 pounds?
94 pounds. All right. So when we sit together, the middle armrest comes up, baby. And I go, oh, come over here. And then now there's some more space. And she loves me. She loves the affection. Right. So the perfect scenario for me, you know what? Big guys, I'm talking to you right now. Get married. Get yourself a wife. Take up that middle that armrest. Life hack.
So what is the perfect scenario for you? In seat, she's in the middle, and then a person on the aisle, or is it you aisle, her middle?
So honestly, it goes 50-50 because here's the thing: airplane seats have historically been declining in space. Like it's not just you. Like if you felt like they were, if you're like 50 and you were flying back, in the early 2000s and you thought they were bigger, they were bigger. Like there's articles about this. The FAA is letting people basically bring it down. So originally airplanes were designed in a specific way. And now when you go on airplanes, if you look at the window, and you may not look at this because you're not big, but if you look at the window, not every chair aligns with a window.
Oh, that's true.
Because they're like slowly cramming them in more and more and more. So it depends. If there's a window where like the little gap or like the little divot is like right aligned with like my arm, I'll sit in the window because then I could like lean on it more. Okay. But if the little pillar is there, then I'm taking the aisle. So
now this sounds like, are you doing this research before you fly, or is this a Southwest flight? Because this sounds like a Southwest flight. Well, once you get on,
so I picked the aisle by default to be safe.
Okay. Gotcha.
Now, on my way, I have an interesting story for you. On my way back from my honeymoon in Hawaii, my wife, we're in the Uber where we leave about an hour and a half or 2 hours early. And our hotel is about 30 minutes away from the airport. We go and we're like 2 minutes away from the airport. And then my wife's like, my wedding ring is in the bathroom. And I'm like,
of the airport?
Of the hotel.
Oh my God.
So we're in the Uber about to get to the airport. So guess what?
No.
We had to turn around
and
go get the ring and then go back.
Mm-hmm.
So what that meant is that we were like so close to missing our flight. We started cutting people in TSA. And I had never done that before. I felt terrible. I felt awkward. You know what? As a matter of fact, I didn't cut people in TSA. I just let my wife do it for me.
Yeah. Let her do it.
Because people are going to be more nice to a 4'11",
Are people shocked when they see you with her?
100%. If I was a comedian, I'd have jokes for days. I would have jokes for, like, it reminds me of your comedian friend that's at Mad Apple.
Harrison.
No.
Which one?
The short guy, the dwarf.
Brad Williams.
Yeah, Brad Williams, because he kind of makes jokes about his,
size.
And I'm like, I could do the same for days.
Just
right? Give me a couple days. But anyway, so we have to cut people through TSA. We're the last people that board this flight, and it's a Southwest flight.
Oh, so pick your own seat.
So pick your own seat. So
all of them are taken.
So here's what's going on in my head, right? I'm a big guy, and I'm trying to analyze the situation, and I'm trying to make the situation best for everybody. I don't want to be next to somebody and like be pushing on them. I don't want them to do that to me. So usually by then, if you guys have never flown Southwest, it's like a bus. You just pick wherever you want to sit. It's like the bus of airplanes.
Bus.
Southwest is the bus, the public transportation of airplanes.
100%.
Right? They're still better than Spirit and Frontier, though.
Yes,
that's all I'm going to say. But anyway, we get on the plane. Usually by then, only middle seats are left. So I'm walking down and I'm like, my goal, no middle seat. Because middle seat is the worst scenario for a big guy. Because not only you're bugging two people.
I can see, look, we're friends, but I could see you walking down the plane.
Oh, everybody's
and everybody's like, oh no, don't sit. No.
Everybody. Every single, and I could see it in their eyes, Michael.
God. I know you can't. How's that make you feel though? I really want to know.
No, because I'm the same way. I'm thinking the same thing as them. I'm like, I really don't want to sit there.
Wow. So, that must just be it. Look, I don't want to compare the two, but it's something. It like when our baby cries. Like we can't stop it.
No, so I got a story. I got a perfect story.
Go for it.
Yeah, I know exactly kind of what you're going.
Because you just feel like, and there's really nothing you can do at that moment.
Yeah. Same with me, right? Like I'm working to lose weight, but at that moment, it is what it is.
It is in that moment.
But you know what I like about Southwest? Southwest is the only airline that lets, like, if you're my size, you could buy 2 tickets and ask for a refund on one, and they'll give you 2 seats.
Wait, how does that work?
They just do it as a convenience.
So you'll go in and buy 2 seats.
Yes. And then you call them up. You're like, hey, I'm a person of size. Like, can you please refund me one of my tickets? And it's just so to reserve 2 spots on the plane.
Okay. That's very cool.
And you don't have to buy 2. Just a big guy hack right here. Yeah. You don't have to buy 2. You can get to the gate early. And if there's enough, like, if they're not like overbooked on the flight, which most of them are, so you just buy 2, you can just say, can I have 2 tickets? And they'll give it to you. Now, in order to do this, they let you board early so that you pick your spot and you know that there's an open spot next to you. That wasn't happening on my flight because it was
already packed and you're late.
5 minutes before the plane takes off. So I get in and I did not book 2 seats this time because I was traveling with my wife and I'm not one to try to take advantage of a lot of systems. Yes. No, and I know my wife is with me. I'm like, I'm going to get there early. That's why I left 2 hours early. And I was like, my wife's going to sit next to me. We're going to have a beautiful flight. Anyway, we're going past the aisles, middle seat. Okay. And I'm like, and you know what? There was only maybe like 2 middle seats because the flight was full. Like it was packed.
So you had to choose.
So I had to choose something. So I get to the back strategically. Middle seat, window seat.
Whoa.
Window seat next to a baby. Oh. So see, the 2 most hated people on planes, big guys like me and babies. And now back to your point, I don't care about babies because here's the thing. Do you think the parents want the baby to cry? They don't want the baby to cry.
No, they don't. They don't.
The baby can't help it. The baby can't help it. If it was up to the parents, it'd be like, eat this, just sleep, just be quiet.
I'm telling you, and to get those dirty looks from people where on the opposite end, if your child is old enough to really understand you, and it's still active, that's different. When a child is like 5
and you're
or 6,
just kind of ignoring them.
Ignoring them, because some parents would just, well, he's a kid, whatever.
No,
those people, I have a problem with those parents. But a 1-year-old that's just crying, or a 2-year-old, because they can't fully talk, and that's why babies cry, because they can't explain themselves. There's a reason why they're crying, and it's not the parents' fault. It's just baby.
So
you know?
I was faced with another dilemma.
So middle seat or baby?
The mother was nursing the baby. So she was in the, the baby was eating. I saw the baby eating, And I'm like,
was it like full blown? It was just like she didn't care. It was
well,
nursing?
no, she
was had a scarf.
No, she wasn't covering it.
Okay,
but like she wasn't like just out there.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
So very like.
Before you tell me the answer, which one can I guess? You'd let me know when you want me to guess which one you sat in.
Take a guess.
So it's either middle seat where you'll probably piss off two people,
yes,
or a mother nursing that I don't think she would mind.
And I'm also going to have to end up seeing her body.
So are we talking about, so I know you, so I would feel like you would rather take the brunt than put other people. And look, if you're big, but I don't know the right way to say that. You would rather be uncomfortable yourself rather than to make other people uncomfortable. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'm saying you took the window seat.
I did. I asked them, I was like, is anybody sitting there? And, then I was like, if you guys don't mind. And,
did your girl take the middle seat between the other two behind you?
So then I'll explain it. Then they got up and, she had to stop. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I know it's like very inconvenient. I apologize. They were very nice. I got to the end, and you know what? The wife was actually a little bit smaller. So like I try, when I'm on an airplane seat, I try my hardest not to creep on. Like I know I'm a bigger person, but I still won't like be like, that's not me. Yeah. So I do my best to try to like tuck in as much as I can. The muffin top maybe comes up a little bit.
Okay.
But like maybe I'm only peeking over like this much because I really have you been in a bad position where somebody's kind of hitting your muffin top? Like, yo, get out. Oh yeah. So yeah. So it was so in the position that I was in, the wife stayed there for like maybe, like it was a 6-hour flight. So she stayed there for maybe like 2.5, 3 hours. And then the husband, they switched, just so that like one of them can get a break with the baby. Uh-huh. And so when the husband was next to me, it was like his
but why would the husband take the middle seat? Why wouldn't they put the baby in the middle
because
seat?
I think the baby was like reaching out near the aisle and like trying to like paw people or something.
If the baby was trying to why would they put him in the why wouldn't they put him in the middle seat then?
No, they did.
The baby was in the middle seat
with the mom. But I'm saying,
oh, you're saying all three of them were there. Oh, they would flip flop. Oh, see,
yeah, they would flip flop.
Okay,
yeah.
See, I thought the baby had its own seat in the middle seat.
No.
But the mother and
no, it's a small baby.
Child. Because I know after 2, I think you got to buy it.
Very small, very small. And so it was uncomfortable when the guy was there because he's not bigger, but he's men generally tend to be bigger than most women. And so it was like a little bit uncomfortable, but he kind of knew, and he was like, we were kind of like there, but that was only for like an hour and a half. And then they switched again. So honestly, out of maybe like a 6-hour flight, maybe like an hour of uncomfortableness. And the other time, like there was plenty of room. It was great. And you know what's funny? Let's say that there's like 32 rows.
Yeah.
I took them at like maybe row 24 because or maybe a little bit, maybe 22. It was like towards the end. But here's the deal. I had to take that opportunity because if I don't and there's nothing else back there, I'm stuck in the middle seat. So I took the chance. So then my wife is texting me. She's like, oh, I got an aisle seat. And I'm just like,
where did she get the aisle seat at?
Last row. See, for her, it doesn't matter because she's so small.
So small, yeah.
But it was also next to like a slightly bigger person, so it wouldn't have worked. It wouldn't have worked out.
Have you ever sat by a bigger person like yourself?
Yes, it was.
How's that?
Luckily the flight attendants broke us up.
Really?
Yeah, MVPs. Yeah. So
well, let me ask you, and maybe you don't know, and I'm not trying to be mean. I wonder, is there a weight issue where like they can't have? Because I know it can't. I've been on a plane where they moved me too. Yeah. Okay.
No, because typically like on a full plane, like the weight balancing doesn't really matter.
Okay.
Especially on planes that are like 3 and 3.
Oh,
especially if it's like at that point it doesn't really matter. If a plane is like coming to empty, yes, that definitely matters. But no, it was like for our there was like a whole row and they put me in a whole row.
Okay.
Yeah, type thing.
So this is interesting because this whole podcast about plane stories. It blows me away that when I'm on a plane, I always get the exit row, no matter if I'm Southwest or.
Oh, you like the exit row?
I love the exit row. I always sit aisle. If I can't get aisle, I'll do window.
Why do you choose aisle over window?
I just like to be able to get up if I need to get up.
Yeah.
And go to the restroom.
You know what like blows my mind? We've packed in so many people on planes now that you need to get the rest of the row to get up if you want to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't even happen in a movie theater and it's packed. Like yeah, you're like, but my like.
Yeah. Normally they could just get up and they wouldn't bother.
They might have to scoop by or like, hey, can you like.
Yeah, everybody has to get up.
Watch your legs, right? Not on a plane. On a plane, you need everybody to get
and
out.
See, I'm like you. I try to be as respectful as I can. So I've been in that window seat and held it for
Me
a little
too.
bit and run off the airplane and just exploded into a urinal. So it's a thing where I didn't ever want to have to go through that again. So now I always do aisle. And I don't mind getting up if somebody, because I just stretch anyway. So, but what's amazing is when you're in an exit row, you're responsible for like 300 people if something happens, right?
Yeah.
And there should be laws about who can sit in those exit rows and who can't. Because I was next to on this Southwest, and I fly into Vegas. I live here. I fly into Vegas all the time, and I leave Vegas all the time. I was in an exit row, and there was this dude that was wasted sitting next to me. And the lady was like, do you understand all the rules? It's like, yes. This dude was like, yes.
Oh gosh.
And the lady was like, all right, so
no way.
But it's kind of like they should have certain people that sit in those rows. There should be like a certain, okay, you have to be this, and this. Because what other place in the world can you be responsible for 150 to 250 people just by going, yes? Think about that. Where else in the world? At McDonald's, you can't do that. You have to sign an application. They got to do a background check. Here, I was next to other flight. I was next to two 80-year-old people. They couldn't even hear the woman asking the question. And then the wife finally had to go, yes. And then the guy was like, yes. And the flight attendant looked at me and went, good luck.
They don't know what.
They don't know.
You know what really ticks me off about the exit row?
What?
You're there, and like you're saying, you're taking on a lot of responsibility that if this plane goes down, but
nobody's going to handle that responsibility. Nobody's actually going to do that. Okay, but
you know what still like pisses me off about this exit row thing? You're charging more for people to sit there. They're taking on more responsibility for you. It's a liability. And you're going to charge them an extra $50? Are you kidding me right now?
Because they got more leg room. That's why. And here's what's crazy too. Is that the flight attendant that's supposed to help you out, she's like, I can't help out. Like the part where you actually need her to help out that she went through training for, they're like, oh, y'all three random people are going to do it with no training. And the people that actually had training, we can't help you. They tell you that. We won't be able to assist you. It's kind of like, the police coming over for a crime and they going, well, we're just here, but we can't do anything. It's so odd to hear a flight. And I understand because they're going to be trying to figure things out and they can't get up wide. So I understand that, but it's just weird to be like, here's everything. You have no training, but good luck. And the people with training, it's almost like they should sit flight attendants in those chairs.
They always travel like in normal clothes for work.
Yeah.
Maybe they should just reserve it for flight attendants, or maybe you have to be I don't know, CPR certified. Just throwing something. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. They letting anybody sit in those seats. And like I said, I've never been in a position where somebody's responsible for so many lives, and all you got to do is say yes. If you trained a parrot to sit in that chair and just go, yes, all right, cool. They said yes. Yes.
Let's talk about unspoken rules of flying.
Okay.
Reclining seats.
Okay, I have a rule on that.
Yeah.
Reclining seats. This whole podcast is about airplanes because we fly a lot. So my thing, if you're in... because I fly Delta a lot. They have first class, they have comfort, and they have, I guess they call it main, right?
Yeah.
My thing is, if you have more leg room and the person behind you is in a smaller seat, you shouldn't lean back because they don't have room like you have.
So you're saying between, what is it, comfort and main?
Main.
If you're on that last
row, on the last row of comfort, Or if you're on any flight and you have a larger, more leg room in front, but I'm very courteous of people. Right. I'm not going to lean back because I know you have no leg room.
Right. But let's talk. I think the majority of people watching this probably flying main, right? And we've all experienced this. I think very few of us have gotten to fly first. If you're in main, everybody else, like you're in row like 15, right? Like everybody around you is main. Yeah. Is it okay to recline the seat?
Yes, because they can recline your seat because you don't take their space.
Yeah.
Because they have the same space you can have when they lean back. Where if you're in a bigger seat, you're actually grabbing way more space and you're taking away their space because they can't go as far as back as your seat can go.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? Like if we're all in the same pod, right? If we're all in the same class and we all lean back, we're all still going to have the same space. But
except for the person in the last row who can't lean back.
Oh, because of the bathroom. But if you gave me 12 more inches for my legs and I lean back, now I'm in your space where you have no space. That's a problem.
So that's your rule for you.
That's my rule. But I know a lot of people wouldn't care. A lot of people could care less about other people on the plane. It's like, I paid for my ticket, I'm going to do what I want. And I understand that. But I'm just a courteous guy. I really want everybody to have, and maybe to a fault, I want everybody to experience a great flight or just make it easy on everybody. Yeah. I don't want to be in your space. You don't need to be in my space.
What about waiting outside of the bathroom? Like how they'll be like, they have the airplane bathroom.
Can I tell you what I hate?
There's like a line. Yeah.
I hate when I go to the bathroom, the toilet's all messy, right? And then I pee. But I'm not going to clean other people's mess. But when you walk out, a lady is waiting to go in, and they think you just pissed all over the seat. And I'm kind of like, I hate that feeling of they actually think you just did all that.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And I'm like, dude, this is very weird. But I had nothing to do with that, But I'm not gonna clean other people's
somebody else's pee.
Yeah, I'm not gonna clean your stuff up. Yeah, I tell you what, one thing on Southwest that blows me away is the attitude of people in numbers.
What?
Like when they come up, you know how they line you up A1 through 30.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and they kind of snobby when what number are you? I was like, excuse me, what number? Like you'll have some people with such an attitude if they think you're standing where you're not supposed to be standing. I mean, first of all, lady, it's Southwest.
That's what I was going to
say. Get over yourself, all right? But I had a lady, I was like number 7, right? And she was like number 8. But she thought she should be in front of me for something. So she goes, excuse me? Like with her ticket. Like she was like flying private, right? Excuse me, what number are you? And I was like 7. She goes, okay. And because she stood right behind me. But I get that a lot, man. People have this attitude. And I guess there's no easy way to ask a person what number they are because you want to line up right. But this lady took it to the extreme, and a couple people have. Like me, I just go, excuse me, what number are you? So I'm just trying to figure out where I try to make it soft. But some people just come up, excuse me, what number are you? And I'm like, I'm this number.
They're like, they're back.
And if they're in front of you, they're like, oh. And then I'm like, dude, this is Southwest, bro. We all spent $20 on a ticket. Shut up. Just shut up.
I flew Southwest back from my honeymoon, and I've been flying Spirit for so long recently, and I hate Spirit. But the only reason I'm flying Spirit is because, well, yeah, they're cheap, but they're some of the only airlines that have the connections that I need.
Yeah.
Like in Vegas, because they have a whole hub in Vegas, right? Yeah. So it's either...
Is Spirit's hub Vegas?
I think it's one of their like main hubs. Yeah.
See, it would be so good if they didn't charge you for every single thing. I think that's the airline.
That's what I was going to say.
I think that's the airline that gave me a cup. And I go, where's the water? They go, you got to pay for that.
Yeah.
They actually handed me a cup. Like the lady had a water bottle in one hand, handed me a cup and I go, where can I have some water? And she goes, yeah, that'll be $3. I'm like, you just handed me you should have not even handed me the cup then.
Like,
it's so crazy.
I would have got if it was like, you were asking for like soda or something.
But who hands you a cup with nothing in it and then try to charge you I mean, that's like you going into Starbucks for a sandwich or something, and
they hand you the wrapper.
Well, they just hand you a random cup. This woman handed me a cup, and I'm like, yeah, and I'm thinking something's gonna come with the cup, but no, it's just a cup.
But because I've been flying Spirit for like the last couple months,
you're used to the abuse.
Well, because Spirit. Here's the thing: it's like I go to Chicago and Milwaukee a lot, and Spirit has direct flights to both of those, and it costs me like a round trip like $120 to $150.
Like they're great if you have no baggage. Like if you're just bringing like a backpack or something like that.
Well, you know what I do?
What?
Again, big boy life hack.
Big boy life hack.
Big front seats. Because here's the thing.
Right. That's like first class.
It's basically first class seats, but without the extra like, oh, here's some wine. I don't drink. Here's the wine. Here's some champagne. Here's some food. No, none of that. I just want the seat. So I'll pay like, let's say a one-way ticket. I'll pay like, $80 for a Spirit ticket, and I'll pay an extra $80 for a big seat.
That's great.
Because that's $160 versus, let's say I want to fly Delta. That's going to be at least like $600. But if you want first class, in your ticket's like $600, it's like an extra $1,000.
Man, I tell you, that's a great idea, because it's interesting that these airlines can travel that cheap, but it's almost like they got to fly anyway, so they got to fill up the plane, and they kind of know I'm gonna sound like one of these foo-foo people, but every time, it's just the service is not as good. Yeah. Like it's just, I remember every bad experience I've had with service, and I don't mean just like rude people, has been on like a Frontier or Spirit flight. And Southwest is always fine.
They're good.
They're great. Yeah. But those Spirit, and I don't know why, because I would imagine everybody in that type of career is getting paid about the same.
No.
Oh, they don't?
No, I think Spirit and like Frontier are paid significantly less. Because they'll hire like new pilots and stuff, and they're trained obviously and everything. Yeah. But they'll take like so a lot of new pilots start with them. But when I flew Southwest on the way back home from Hawaii, I felt like I was in first class, because like midway through the flight, they're like handing out drinks. They give me a drink. They're like, "What would you like, sir?" I'm like,
on Southwest?
Yeah. It's a 6-hour flight.
Oh.
Hawaii. So they're like, "What would you like, sir?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah, take a Sprite, I guess." And then like, they bring me a Sprite. And then they give me this like giant plastic bag that had chips in there, had like gummy bears or something.
Really?
It had like a mint at the end. Oh, it had
is this from Hawaii here?
Yeah. Had like a little cheese dip. And I'm just like,
oh, because they got to feed you after a certain number of hours probably.
I don't know, but I'm eating my thing over here. And then like maybe an hour later, they're coming around with water and coffee, like on a tray. Like, would anybody like water and coffee? I'm like, and then to top it all off, like we're maybe like an hour and a half from landing, and they give you like a little like, I think it was like a brownie thing, like I don't know, like a dessert. Think of like dessert, and I'm just like, yeah, it's not like real food.
Yeah,
but like I'm so used to like Spirit. You want anything, it's gonna cost you, and like to like have that level of service, I was like, oh my gosh.
So it makes you appreciate.
Oh, 100%.
Spirit makes you appreciate.
Yeah, stay humble, guys.
Stay humble. If you want to stay humble, fly Spirit and Frontier. But the prices are phenomenal, man. And let me tell you, I've been on one Spirit flight and one Frontier flight. Actually, I've been on a couple Frontier flights. Me and my son will fly to Disney. Like we'll go right outside of Disney and then go in there. It's like $30 round trip, right? It's crazy. And some of those planes are really nice.
Yeah.
It's just the service they give you is horrible in them most of the times. Bro.
Yeah. And the last note I'll mention too, when I was coming in, it was a notoriously windy day for Vegas. That weekend was so windy.
The worst place to fly into is Vegas when it's windy or when it's very hot because of all the turbulence.
I felt like I was on a roller coaster, and it was one of those flights where like, okay, so first of all, we were landing and we got down to about like building level, and we had to abort landing. Like
you had to go back up?
Yeah, and to go around because it was like, not on course or whatever. And I was like, this is the first time that's ever happened. So I was like spooked. And then we land, and it was one of those times where like everybody's like clapping. And like I never really understood that. Yeah. Like again, that's another one of those airplane etiquettes. Like, do you clap after every landing?
No, nobody does. No. But if it's traumatic or extreme turbulence,
so that's what I was gonna say. I always used to look at those people who clap after each landing, like, lady, like,
chill out.
Chill out. But after that landing, I was like, I get it.
Yeah, it's like I've been in some plane because I fly so much. I've been in some where my friend's a pilot, but like Air Force, right? And he gave me words of comfort and then just things you should look out for. And that scared me more. If anyone's flying, this is the best piece of advice he gave me. The most dangerous moments of flying, 7 minutes up, 7 minutes down.
Yep.
Once you get past that, he goes, turbulence. He says, Michael, turbulence cannot bring down a plane. No matter how bad the turbulence is, it cannot bring down a plane. If the plane is obviously put together right, it cannot bring down a plane. He goes, but the first 7 minutes up, first 7 minutes down, he goes, that's where most of the accidents happen. It's the taking off and landing is where they happen. So he goes, after that first 7 minutes, you're good.
Yeah, and people when people buy and sell planes, they don't necessarily care about like the total flight time.
Yeah.
Because like when it's in the air, there's not much wear and tear on the plane.
Yeah.
It's all the landing and the takeoff. And so yeah, it's crazy. It's like driving a car, highway miles, right? Like people always say, "Oh, they're highway miles."
Yeah, yeah. It's that changed my life. Now I'm on a flight. I'm like, it sucks because now I'm like, oh, 7 minutes. I was like, seven, okay. And once we get past that, once that thing goes, boom, and basically that's when you get to 10,000 miles.
Yeah.
You know, then that thing goes boom, and then you're like, that basically that bong means we're good. Like literally, when
chill out until
chill out to the landing now. But when you hear that bong, you can rest assured because turbulence really isn't going to bring you down.
Yeah.
But until you hear that bong, you know, it's like, you know, you're rolling the dice. You're rolling the dice. Anything else about airplanes before we get out of here?
No, that's really it.
I mean, I have some. Go ahead.
Last thing, first time ever in many, many years, I was able to use the tray table.
Oh,
because you got to think I'm a big guy, right?
Yeah.
I used to hit like up here. I'm like, I can't use the tray, so I would use my wife's tray table. But and did not need a seatbelt extender.
Look at you! I'm happy for you, Alex.
That was huge.
That was huge. That's
so,
awesome,
guys. We're on the road to being able to fit in one of those tiny little island planes, like the ones that hop you from island to island.
Oh, can you not ride those right now?
Well, I can, but it feels like you're cramming me into a cage, probably.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see. Keep working. I mean, down 35 pounds, you gain 6 back, but you'll get it.
35 after the 6.
Oh, okay. Freaking awesome, man. Yeah. Well, I'm proud of you, and our listeners and viewers are proud of you.
Let us know your biggest pet peeve when it comes to airplanes down below.
Absolutely.
I bet people have crazy stories.
Yeah, and I mean, I didn't even get into the people taking off their shoes and their feet on the. Like, I was next to a guy that had on sandals. And literally, we were in the front, and you know that when you're in the front row, that wall, he put his feet.
That's disgusting.
On the wall. I'm like,
that's
oh my
disgusting.
God. And then he was picking his toes. I'm like,
dude,
stop.
Imagine if he just pulls out like a toenail clipper. He's just like,
nah, I haven't seen that, but this dude was literally playing with his toes, like sticking his fingers in his toes. And luckily, there was nobody in the middle, but he was on the window, and I was in the aisle, and he was putting his feet up there, and it was so disgusting. Like, I'm like, how do you not know this is not right? This is what blows me away. People do crazy stuff. How do you know it's not right?
You know.
You have to know. Are you doing that to be annoying, or like, I don't know, man. It's like when people, I'm done with this because it's gonna hit too close to home for. So
tell us about your shows, man.
My shows. Check out my calendar. I got like 7 more dates rest of this year, from North Carolina to Vancouver to Jimmy Kimmel's to Honolulu, Hawaii. My first time performing out there. It's a small venue. There's only 50 seats in every show.
Who knows, man? Maybe you'll get some more plane stories to tell while you're on stage.
I know. I love how we're just talking about certain things each podcast now, because there's more about planes I could go into, but that gets too scary, and I don't like to talk about those bad, because I believe in car. I just don't want to put that bad energy out there, you know. So hey, thanks for joining us. Check out my tours. Watch my stand-up special that's out on YouTube right now. It's called I Never Thought. Just went over 420,000 views. Thank you for watching. If you have, give it a thumbs up. But definitely, if you're listening to this pod, if you're watching this pod, give it a thumbs up, subscribe. All right. We'll see you next time on The Yo Show. Later.